Sorry, you're...
I'm Kalarak.
Oh, Çağlar Akdemir,
Yeah.
Chief Marketing Officer of Kobaküs.
Hello. I'm going to talk about Kobaküs today. As a fintech company founded at the end of 2017, we focus on API. We already connected half of the banks in Turkey, and these 26 banks cover over 90% of the transactions in our country. You know, in a typical environment, there are closed ecosystems which are limited to few number of peers, which cause all the customers in this environment to deeply suffer because of limited data and sharing. But as Kobaküs, we collect all the peers in one API ecosystem. By doing this, we connect all the peers to each other. This will lead to auto growth, and as a fact, it will generate markets because of the collected open banking system. Via our system, we give you access to 28 billion of market. And we want to broaden our API coverage to Europe. That will generate new revenue streams. As a Turkish company founded in Istanbul, we want to get into Europe as well. As you may know, Istanbul is the capital of economy in Turkey, and it doesn't serve only as a heart of the economy, but it also serves as a bridge between continents. Therefore, we want to get to these regions by expanding our network. So we know the needs and desires of the last end users. So ease of use and simplicity is our utmost priority. You can do anything you want with open banking ecosystem through our platform by a single touch. So we aim to have ease for use. We provide new data sources to developers and customers and financial institutions. That this will provide greater viability, and by enabling this, we give collaboration to every peer. We will generate revenue by selling apps of the developers and ourselves. We will provide a sandbox model for the developers. We will act as an enabler and give all the features of the software to everyone, and therefore we will get your real benefit. In October 2018, we get our first prize as the first startup in web browsing, and then we become the first among top 20 in Big Bang. And now the timing is important, and we are here to expand our network to Europe, as we already been able to demonstrate our quality in Turkey. Thanks for listening to me.
Thank you. Well done. Judges.
So as Plaid has recently expanded into Europe, how do you see the long-term defensibility of such a platform, as each country has their own API aggregator?
Actually, that's what we do. Like we won't conquer the America from the front, but we will just make partnerships with the current platforms here, so we can give our API permissions in Turkey, so they can be also in Turkey, and we will be opening into Europe by using their agreements. So it will be sustainable at the end.
Can you share a bit more about your unit economics, given that you've got such scale in Turkey, which is not a small market by any stretch of imagination? And I'm just sort of curious how that translates into the 4 revenue streams that you discussed, I think, in one of the slides.
Actually, that's our aim to get at the end, because we are now just in Turkey and Istanbul, and by opening to these regions and making partnerships with the companies like Think, etc., we will open to those regions where they are present. And you know, as the pioneer of the sector in Turkey, there were no regulations even when we are founded. Therefore, we defined the regulations in our country. That's why if a platform want to enter Turkey, they should contact the government, and the government will lead them to us.
Thank you.
Maybe you can elaborate a little bit more about the actual unit metrics that you're currently handling, because you mentioned you unlocked 90% of the total market already in Turkey.
Yeah, there are 52 banks in Turkey having a license to work, and actually 40 of these are operational at the moment, and the 26 we have agreements are like the biggest of those, and the ones have a mobile application and open banking systems. Therefore, it's like the 90% of the whole system, because they are the biggest ones.
And so what are we talking about in terms of API calls? Or?
Not only API calls, but all the transactions, all the API calls, including all the movements in this system.
And so could you give any particular number, or maybe sort of like an estimate?
There are some numbers in my slide for that. There are different calls from APIs. There are PISPs, like this kind of. We have SME customers, and as I was told, there are 45 million bank customers in Turkey.
Do you want to tell us a little bit more about the rest of the team?
Actually, we are 16 in all. I actually recently joined the team, and we have a big, nice developer team.
Time's up. Sorry. Well done. Thank you very much.